hours into this, the doctors came in and they started talking about organ donation and stuff like that.
Yeah, John's nephew in a massive situation. Really bad car accident. It's time for the encouraging story of the day. Happens this time Monday through Friday.
And we look to you to share those stories, to brag on God, what he's doing in you. 800-900-1300.
And this is what happened when John started from the beginning. Listen to this.
I just needed to share just how powerful God is. About a month ago, my nephew was in a pretty horrific car accident. Drunk driver crossed the center line and hit him head on. When you get that phone call, from the hospital, and, they had called his mom, and several hours into this, the doctors came in and they started talking about organ donation and stuff like that. And my heart just sank. And I'm like, this kid's only 17 years old. And half the family was torn, and they're like, we need to let him go. And, the other half, including me, was like, no, we can't let him go. He's too young,
Yeah.
He's got to come back from this. Sorry.
No, it's all right.
I brought in a radio, my son Caleb, and the kid's never really been religious. I mean, he knows God and he's faithful, but, he's one of those typical 17-year-olds that just want to do what a 17-year-old wants to do. I refused to let him go. I came in, I played Caleb, and I didn't leave his side for a week. Prayed for him, and I had doctors and nurses coming in and praying for him. And in the middle of the night, he woke up.
Are you serious?
I am. And I called his mom, and I'm like, Adam, he's awake. And I think she must have ran every red light trying to get to the hospital.
So it was a miracle.
It truly was. By God's grace, he walked out of the hospital yesterday.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
And I was just like, oh, my God.
And what are the doctors saying?
The doctors are baffled. I mean, the doctor came in, and he's just like, there's no explanation for this. And I'm like, oh, there is. The doctor immediately sat down in the chair, and I can tell that he was praying because he just bowed his head, and he just got really quiet all of a sudden. And I'm like, wow. You want to talk about a close call?
And is this an opportunity for you, do you think, to help solidify his faith in Christ?
No, absolutely.
Okay.
I kind of mentioned it to him last night. I'm like, I'm off on Sundays, right? He goes, well, we're going to church then.
Man.
Like, good. I just can't believe it. I mean, I'm still in shock. How can you actually explain that to somebody, that your parents were going to sign the authorization to pull you off life support?
Yeah.
And here you are sitting in church.
Well, man, thanks for being obedient. God saw your faith. And awesome. Wow.
Over